How is everybody doing this morning? Another beautiful day here in the desert. And Meg, don't pull mommy over the rocks. Come on, let's go this way. Oh, nice to get out and enjoy a nice walk this morning. Been busy the past few days, still going to be busy today. But yesterday was really fun because we started trellising our grapes. We planted Malbec grapes this summer and they lived. Not only did they live, but they thrived. And we were actually a little surprised. We probably should have set our trellises up right when we planted these grapes, but we didn't think to do that. We didn't know. One, we didn't know if they'd make it, right? The sun here is so intense. And two, we just didn't expect them to take off that fast. They seem to grow faster than your average fruit tree, right? So we basically took a different approach to trellising. We'd had these wire cages around them which won't support the kind of weight that we're going to have if we ever get grapes. And then we ordered V-shaped trellises, which are very strong trellises from Botanical Interest. So we were able to insert these V-shaped trellises down around the vines of the grapes inside the metal hoops, which we didn't even want to try to take out with all the vining that had happened with the grapes. And we're running poles across the tops. We're actually going to run the poles across at three levels for the vines. So last night we got the top poles run across the cages, the trellis, and vined the top layer of branches, train them along the top poles. And today I think my husband's going to run the second set of poles for me to train the next level. I did a little reading about grapes and how they're supposed to grow, and they're definitely supposed to be run along supports. They're not supposed to be curling all over the place, right? So you have to train them. And so that's what we're doing. We're getting them all set up for year 2. And we're definitely going to have to cover those. They're going to need to have nets over them because the mockingbirds were already visiting the vines. I can't believe it. Those guys, I tell you, they probably are the ones that ate the blossoms off of the fruit trees this spring. I mean, it's a miracle we got any fruit this year because of something. I'm assuming it was the mockingbirds was on the trees eating the blooms off before the fruit could even set. So that's why we're only getting 2 grapefruit this year. And they ate a lot of blooms off the apple too, but thankfully that apple is so prolific we got a lot of apples despite them. But yeah, been a busy couple of days. We enjoyed our Thanksgiving with our neighbor. Had a lot of leftovers, got some soup going. So I like to make what I call Thanksgiving soup. And basically I just take turkey, stuffing, gravy, mashed potatoes, and this year, since we had Thanksgiving with somebody else, we had a lot of yams, right? So I actually threw those in and just put it all in a pot. And you could do the carcass if you wanted, but I actually froze the carcasses for a future soup because we have so much turkey. And I call it Thanksgiving soup. I just let it cook overnight in a crock pot, or you could use a Instapot. Actually, we use an Instapot because it's so versatile. I can pressure cook or I can slow cook. I can do a lot of things with that. And yeah, so tonight we'll have either soup or we can have more turkey. And we're definitely going to share a soup with our neighbor that hosted this year. Look at that sunshine. It is gorgeous out today. Oh, we're waking up the neighborhood. But today we have friends that are coming over. We're going to can their soup with them in quart jars. And I actually did this with one of the people last year. And so he's coming over with his neighbor, who's a friend of mine, and she's going to learn too. And I gave him a link to a pressure canning pot, so maybe next year they can do it themselves. We'll see. I'm finding that even if I teach people how to do stuff, they don't really seem to have the confidence to try it themselves, right? And I guess it actually took me years to start using a pressure canner. It took me wanting to can something that had to be pressure canned in order to be a safe, storable food, right? That's usually what gets you going on pressure canning. And what was crazy is pressure canning is actually a lot easier than water bath canning. With water bath canning, you have to sterilize the jars ahead of time, and you have big pots of boiling water, which can be pretty dangerous, really. Pressure canning, those pressure canners, those lids seal on, so you don't have to worry about accidentally unsealing it, you know, and burning yourself with steam or anything like that, because they literally get locked on from the pressure. So it's really pretty foolproof. You just need a really stable burner where you can maintain high heat. Yeah, pressure canning is where it's at. I mean, you can't pressure can jam because it'll turn into syrup, right? You can't pressure can pickles, you can't pressure can pie filling. Those things all have to be done with water bath. But most everything else you really can pressure can. Most everything. There are some things they say aren't safe for home canning. Like you can can pumpkin chunks, but you can't pressure can pumpkin puree. And I'm not really sure why that is, but there's some rules that I follow, right? Now, if you turn the puree into a sauce, that's different because you add a vinegar, right? And that makes all the difference in the world. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'm looking forward to getting back in the sewing room. Got a lot of sewing projects. Trying to get ready for the holidays. Got gifts to make and give. Hoping to make another batch of soap. The first batch of soap we did is set up now. But I wanted to try remaking that recipe. I've made that soap twice now. And so I'm ready to experiment with it a little bit and improve it. And so one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little salt into the water that you add the lye into. That'll make it set up more firmly, faster. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a kaolin rose clay at trace. And that will also make it set up faster. And you're only adding really minute amounts of the salt or the kaolin clay. It's basically based on the weight of your oils in your soap recipe. Hey, good morning, Bedazzling Designs. How you doing, Queenie? Welcome to the walk. Hey, thanks for that thumbs up. We're definitely needing this walk this morning. Hey, Eli Monkey's around. Good morning. Welcome back. How are you guys doing this morning? Miss Meg and I are filling the turkey, and yeah, got to get out here and do a little walking. And it's a gorgeous day for this anyway. Beautiful out. Very comfortable with a sweatshirt, right? Bedazzling Designs, what you got going on there? Are you making anything cool today? Oh, so you're playing Fortnite, Eli Monkey. That's awesome. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate it. You're just enjoying a beautiful walk. Bedazzling Designs, you haven't told me what you're working on. And the smiles. Oh, you're just planning. You know, that planning part is really big. I put a lot of planning into stuff that I do too, because you want to get it all set up right so that you do it right the first time. Saves a lot of time. And I don't know about you, but nowadays, if I have to rip a seam because I made a mistake, ooh, that's a lot of work. Especially if it's black thread on black fabric. Holy cow. Not even the readers are going to save you with that. But that's cool. I'm glad you're planning out your next project. I have like multiple projects in the works. But that's a good thing. Oh, so you're gonna go to the card shop today, Eli? You know, Queenie, resting is important too. I find that I wear myself out with everything that I'm doing. So taking a break between things, putting some thought into what you're gonna do, that's really beneficial. Hey, Eli, see you next time. Have a great day. Thanks for joining in. Miss Meg and I are just enjoying our day, getting out for a walk. Oh, crocheting a hat and scrunchies. That's awesome. You know, my husband hasn't bowled now in almost 5 weeks. He's actually going to go try practicing because he messed up his knee so bad. And it's been crazy waiting to get gel shots. We're finding that a lot of these medical offices don't know how to bill. So like Medicaid might not pay for gel shots, but his secondary insurance, which once you get Medicaid, any insurance you had beforehand becomes secondary. The secondary insurance will pay for it, but Medicaid doesn't, right? At least not with how his Medicaid's set up. But unfortunately, these billing offices don't understand that you bill Medicaid and then it bills to the other insurance. So that's crazy. So yeah, he's still waiting for his gel shots. And I feel for him. But he's going to try bowling today because he hasn't bowled in like 5 weeks and he has 2 serious leagues that he's in. So it's been really hard on him. I'm proud of him for keeping himself occupied and finding other things to do, because that's pretty much his one hobby. Years ago, he had an antique booth that he's really into, but I don't know that he wants to get into that again, so we'll see. You know all about that. You have knees and back things that you deal with too, right? And I got to get a bag out. Miss Meg's ready to do her business. So yeah, today we're going to help somebody can some soup. Give them another canning lesson. All right, let Mommy get it. Let Mama get it. Just one moment. All right, there we go. We clean up after our dog. I see people out here that don't. I tell you, that's not the kind of polluting that you want to do. Yeah, I told him to be safe. Thanks, Queenie. The Dazzling Designs. I told him to be safe. Wears braces. He just wants to see if he can bowl at all. He feels a lot better, but he's got to be real careful with that knee. He's pretty close to needing another replacement, and I don't know that he wants to have to do that again. So he's got to be very careful not to re-injure that injury. Oh, so you've had knee and back injections. Did you get gel shots? What did you get for your knees and your back? Tell me about that, if you don't mind sharing that. I kind of feel like we get to an age where we all got to help each other with what worked, right? And I got to make it to this trash can before we get to the dog, so I can grab her leash better. Yeah, I was talking to him about that, because I know that when I had a first real injury, it wasn't like, didn't totally stop me from running, but I basically had to take a year off from it, from sciatica, right? And oh my gosh, that was such a part of my life that I drove past a race that I really loved, that I normally ran in, and I cried. I was so sad because I couldn't do it. So I tell you, he's got a lot of mental fortitude. He says he likes watching even if he can't do it. So that takes a lot of courage, I think. For me, I couldn't do it. It'd be very hard. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. It's a beautiful day. Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
Yeah, how about you?
It was good. Yeah, we went to one of our neighbors' houses. Normally everybody comes to our house, but this year we changed it up.
Hey, nice.
Yep.
Crazy you gotta enjoy, right?
All right, you're crazy. Crazy as usual.
Okay.
Well, it's nice to see you.
Good to be seen, right?
That's right.
Yeah, how's she doing?
Doing good.
Looking
Well,
good.
Meg, well, apparently she's doing just fine. You too, Chris. Okay, so injections in your back, but gel in the knees. And you do the gel twice a year for your knees. So when you had the back injections, was that steroids? Because there was an option for him to either try a steroid shot or gel shots in his knees. And he hasn't really had much luck with steroid shots in the knees. It worked really good on his foot for Morton's neuroma.
On your right.
Morning. Anyway, we're all getting older, right? Just blessed to be here and enjoying life, I think. That's what I say. Beautiful day. A lot of people out here enjoying the fresh air. Got runners, dog walkers. Beautiful day. Thanks for sharing, Queenie. I appreciate it. I'll give him that suggestion twice a year. He really doesn't want another knee replacement. I don't blame him. For some people, it's a cakewalk. For him, it was a lot to go through. Beautiful day. Look at these clouds and the sun. I think we have some sky art going on. Look at those streaks going through there. I call that sky art. Well, it's a gorgeous day today. Queenie, thanks for joining us. I'm sure everybody's busy with all their shopping. We're not really we make right, but actually I didn't have time to do any sewing yesterday. Maybe tomorrow. Well, have a blessed day. Queenie, you take care now. We'll be in touch.